Well, good afternoon. Happy Friday. Mark Milam here, your mortgage professional. Let's get right to it. Not my favorite of weeks for the mortgage market. And that's saying something that was familiar about a year ago, but really we've been on a decent trend over the past, I would say, 90 days for mortgage interest rates. That's really until this week. Ironically, since the Fed has cut the Fed funds rate, we've had about 13 business days since the Fed did that back on September the 18th. And 9 out of the 13 have shown mortgage rates moving in the wrong direction. It's just kind of counterintuitive that the Fed would lower the Fed funds rate by a half point, yet mortgage rates would worsen in the wake of the news. Why is that happening? Well, this is especially confusing because if you go back to Friday of last week, a week ago today, we got a report on inflation that came in 0.3 of a percentage point under consensus estimates. I mean, that is the kind of news that used to send mortgage rates into really great territory. We would see pricing improve dramatically in a single day if we forecast 2.5% in inflation and we came in at 2.2, which is exactly what happened last Friday. The market kind of shrugged it off. It was more of a meh moment. We barely improved on the news. And all this week, we've gotten some indications that the labor market seems to be rather resilient and beating expectations in a lot of regards. We had job openings on Tuesday, came in hotter than expected. And then the blockbuster report today that we anticipated we would add about 140,000 jobs over the past 30 days with non-farm payrolls came in at over 250,000 jobs, just an extreme beat to the upside. And that has sent mortgage-backed securities into a bit of a spiral, causing interest rates to increase along the lines of 1/4 of a point in one day. That is a huge move. Let me flip the screen around here and show you what I'm talking about. When you open up the worksheet, you'll see these two far right-hand candlesticks right here, this day and this day. This is yesterday, Thursday, October the 3rd. This is today, Friday, October the 4th. Remember, red days are bad days. This is where the value of the security is declining. The associated interest rate is going up. And you can see that really since the Fed lowered the Fed funds rate back here on September 18th, we have been taking one step up and two steps back, especially when you get here towards the end of this week. It has just not been pleasant activity. Now listen, if you zoom out a bit and maybe we go back on a 6-month look back, you can see we're still better than where we were to start summer. If you go back into June, interest rates were a good bit higher. If you go back into May, they were even higher than that. So we're still improved. We're just not where we were around Labor Day or to start September. We've just given up some of those gains, and that's counterintuitive. Some headlines here. You can see massive jump in mortgage rates after the jobs report. This was posted about 3 hours ago. And then, of course, the S&P 500 is rising on the blockbuster jobs report. There we go. So the stock market likes it. The bond market does not. And unfortunately, mortgages are much more closely related to the bond market. So for the time being, we've given up some of those gains that we've received over the past 90 days, but still far better than where we were to start summer and where we were at the end of spring. All right, if I can be of any service to you over the weekend, don't hesitate to reach out. Mark.Milam@highlandmtg.com.